we're going to get into one of the more controversial questions now.
Oh, great.
And that is, how do you feel about Donald Trump losing the election?
Let's try to keep this short and sweet.
Okay, and I'm not going to debate this in the comments. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and then that's going to stand. So here's my take on it. I have never been a Donald Trump, adamant supporter. I'm certainly not a Joe Biden supporter. My views are not Democrat, Republican, Libertarian based. It's strictly on who I did not want to be president, and that was Joe Biden. I do not like Joe Biden. I do not like anything he stands for. And I don't think that has anything to do with his affiliation of being a Democrat. As far as Donald Trump losing the election, as quoted in CNN, the person, and I can't remember the person's name, that is responsible for calling the election and there being a official president-elect has not done so yet. The news media has declared Joe Biden as the president-elect, but officially, that person who is in charge of it has not done so yet.
Media doesn't have that authority, but the thing is,
right.
It sounds like they're making it sound like it's official.
Right,
so it can be tricky, but it's not official.
Right. And if, in fact...
In which they do with every president, every election, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a pretty normal thing, but it can be a little tricky, and especially if there's something not going right with the election, which is like right now.
And there's a whole lot not going right.
Then it can sound very deceiving. If it's going smoothly and they're calling it, then it's like, all right, yeah,
right.
It makes sense. But right now, it's not making sense. So
just to get back to
and they're not covering a damn thing. That's the thing. Their media is completely up Biden's ass. So they're not doing anything with. They're not covering true news.
No, they're not. But to answer the question, how do I feel about him losing? If he does in fact lose, and if that is the case, if that's the way it goes in the country, what can we do about it, right? There's been presidents that we have not liked in the past. There will be presidents in the future that we do not like. You just go through it. There's a lot of people who didn't like Trump, and they went through 4 years of not liking him, and they voted for somebody else.
But did they really go through 4 years? They went through 4 years of nailing him to a cross and
that's the way they've done with other presidents, too.
Whining.
They've done it with other presidents. But the bottom line is, what can you do about it? It's not the end of the world. There will be another 4 years and someone else will run, and then you vote for someone else. Maybe someone else will get in. Maybe Biden will have another 4 years. And then after that 8 years, then someone else will be president. So there's nothing else. I'm not like this avid, I'm so mad and so angry and want to riot.
Sure. Yeah, want to riot.
I'm going to riot from my wheelchair.
My opinion, just to make it real quick, and wrap that one up, but is that I think it's important for Trump to do what he's doing, and to keep our democracy just and fair. If we want to look at it from a subjective standpoint and not get too wrapped up in politics or a standpoint, and then it's important for all of us. It's important on both sides of the aisle for us to support any investigation, any evidence, to go to court, and so that a judge can because what if the shoe was on the other foot? And if somebody feels like that they're being cheated or something's not fair, we all need to know that we live in a country that the majority of the people are ruling in this election. And so for the protection of a just and fair democracy, that's very important.
Right.
So, anyways, what was the next question?
Okay, the next question is, what is the craziest thing you've seen on your closed circuit TV? So, if you don't know, I don't know if you could see it over my shoulder here. We have an option in the building that you turn to a specific station, and you can see the front door camera. And the purpose for that is seeing who comes and goes, if someone's ringing your buzzer to see who it is, just to be nibby like we are, if you're expecting a package, etc., etc., etc. And a lot of times if we're not watching something else, we just keep it on for background. And because we're nibby, right? Let's just be honest. I mean, I'm nibby. What about you? You nibby? He's got a mouthful of food.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what you can call it.
Anyhow.
I like to watch people.
I'm very much a people watcher.
I don't really care what they're doing. It's just, I think people are interesting to watch.
Yeah, I love to go, and I haven't done it for several years, but my favorite thing to do, like at Christmas time, me and my mom used to go to the day after Christmas. We never actually went Christmas shopping the day after Christmas, but we would go to the mall and just watch the people. It was so interesting to watch people and just figure out like all about them, or what you think all about them, form your own opinions about them. The craziest thing I've ever seen is a resident in our building was extremely intoxicated, and they came up to the front door, and we have fobs that you like run in front of the door and it beeps and the door opens. He couldn't find the fob, and then he proceeded to find the fob. It fell on the ground. He bent over to pick it up and fell on the ground. Then he tried to stand up and fell down again. Then he crawled over and then opened it with the fob. Then he tried to pull himself up with the door frame. Did not succeed in doing so.
He was on the ground for a while.
And then he just gave up and crawled through the front door.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Must have been hitting the bottle while he's outside.
Yeah.
That's what that shows.
So, what is the craziest thing you've seen?
Mine is... I don't really have a crazy story. Everybody's pretty crazy around here, so every resident that comes through the door, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Next question is, what do you think about people asking about your sex life? What do we think about, people can ask whatever they want. I'm not really shy when it comes to sex or that kind of stuff. So what I think is it's not really invasive, in my opinion.
But it's just not, I don't feel it's appropriate.
No, I don't really feel like it's appropriate either. Yeah,
I mean,
there's the other side. It's like, I don't care, but at the same time, I'm not going to be asking other people's sex life or business. That's just kind of weird.
I understand that there are people, I mean, there are people that I've looked at and thought things that I wish I could ask them about themselves, not necessarily their sex life, but there are questions that I've seen of people and been like, I wonder why they do this, or wonder what their motive of doing this is, but I know it's not appropriate, so I don't ask it.
And then you end up imagining.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some things that you just don't discuss on a social media platform. I mean, if we knew people in real life and they asked us, you know, like, what's your take on whatever, it would be one thing, but I don't think that discussing your sex life on YouTube is appropriate.
No. Not in our Western world, it's not really appropriate to just ask somebody about their sex life. Isn't that kind of awkward, though? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Our society doesn't do well with that. Oh. Next question.
Okay. This is a good question. You probably won't see this, but I just choked on pickle juice from my salad, a pickle in my salad.
That's why she looks like she's high now.
That's why my eyes look like they're watering in that. So this is a good time to answer this question. Why do you always look like you're about to burst into tears when you taste something?
Wow, that was timely.
I don't know why. Have you noticed that? Do I always look like I'm going to burst into tears when I try something? Maybe it's an apprehensive look, like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. Like those chips. Oh, you have chips up there. Those hot chips. People were so sure. There was a few people that said that I was going to eat the whole bag once the camera went off. And we can tell that they're the same ones because there's the clearance tag right there. No, I did not eat any more of those because they are crazy hot. They were good, but they are crazy hot. And maybe the person was referring to when we taste tested those chips, when it looked like I was going to burst into tears because it was hot. It was very hot.
It's got a little heat. It's not too bad though.
Probably with a sandwich it'd be easier to eat because the sandwich would like cut down on the heat. They were good. But why do I look like I'm going to burst into tears when I try something? I don't know. I've never noticed. It's just my face. I guess I'm so used to my face that I guess I don't notice it.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good question. Using only 3 words, describe Luna and Moo. Do you want to take that first, or do you want me to answer first?
Moo, passive aggressive, ornery, sweet, can be.
That's 4.
And Luna, kind, sweet. She has a sweet little spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Wild and bold. She's confident. Go. Wait, she's watering.
For me, Luna would be batshit crazy.
Yes.
She's into everything.
It's a better way of putting it.
All at once.
All at once. She is omnipresent.
Everything in this apartment is her favorite toy. And she is obsessed with hearing change jangle and jangle. She can find change that we don't even know is on the floor. We can make sure that everything is off the floor, and somewhere she comes up with a penny or a dime. I mean, she's good to have around, make us a little extra cash on the side. But she is just crazy. She's into everything. But she is a sweetheart. And the perfect addition to our family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if they can see Moo back there. Oh, yeah, you can see Moo back there. Moo has made himself at home on the table. And Moo, very easy, Mama's baby boy.
Oh, okay.
He is very much a mama's boy.
Well, what about other characteristics? He is a mama's boy. I have to give him that. He's very protective over Jennifer.
He just wants to sleep on me. He doesn't.
He's always following Jennifer.
He follows me all the time. And he doesn't like to be he doesn't want to be cuddled, but he wants to be laying against me, laying on me. He needs to know where I'm at. If I leave the apartment and Jean comes back without me, he gets very upset and doesn't understand where I'm at.
And I think that's where his passive aggressiveness comes from, is because he seems to be a little insecure and unsure about himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he finds security in Jennifer.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He's
got a lot of rules, like socially.
Yeah.
He's a little offish, so he's got rules.
He gets scared very easily. And the loud noises. There's a fire station, across the street. It's a little, lettuce. It's a little bit more than across the street. It's, I guess, across 2 streets. 2 streets over, I guess. And he can hear the minute the fire truck pulls out of the fire station. And he used to, not so much anymore, but a few years ago, he would get terrified when he would hear that. Or when the windows are up in the warm weather and there's a park across the street, when he hears kids playing in the park and he can see them when the leaves are off, he would get scared when he would see kids playing in the park across the street. And I'd be like, Moo, they're across the street. They're not in our apartment. But he gets very frightened very easily. So, but he's mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Loyal is a word I could describe him. Handsome. He's very handsome.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more than 3 words, but mama's baby boy describes him very well. Okay, we'll do 2 more, and then we'll wrap it up. Jane's almost done with his sandwich. I'm almost done with my salad.
We're trying to have this elevated where you can see the food, but it's not really working out very well.
You can kind of see my salad because it's up a little bit further.
Yeah. I did take off the banana peppers because I was having to chew them.
Oh, I love banana peppers.
And I have a couple of teeth that are just kind of hurting because I'm turning 124 next year.
When he was sleeping, when I woke up before him, and I was like, "Ooh, look at that gray. Look at that gray." And then I was like, "Ooh, look at that. None of that gray."
Yeah. Well, she hasn't cut off the dye.
And
off her hair. But she didn't have any gray though.
And I only have 3 strands of hair, so.
Yes.
So there's 3 strands. Probably aren't going to gray very soon. And I am going to cut my hair very soon. All right, I'm thinking of shaving my head very soon. My hair has been thin since I hit puberty. I used to have very thick hair as a child. And then when puberty hit and my hormones got all messed up, and the older I've gotten, the more messed up the hormones have gotten, then the thinner my hair has gotten. My mom had thin hair, my grandma had thin hair. Surprise! And then some of the medication that I'm taking makes my hair even thinner, and it just, if people want, I'm not suggesting I'm taking chemotherapy or any kind of therapy like that, because I know that would be the next thing people would imply, that I'm, losing my hair to chemo or something, but that's not the case. It's just some of the medication I take makes my hair thin. So my 3 strands, back to the whole story. God, I can ramble, can't I? My 3 strands are not gray as of yet. So, but I kind of did miss his sexy salt and pepper hair. I kind of like it. It's really cute. And then he shaved this up here. I liked it for a while, and then I missed it, and then it was very scratchy. He would call it turtling. When he would try to kiss me, I would put my neck back like that because it would hurt. I'm sure a few girls out there have a guy that has whiskers. You can relate to that, but I'm like, just kiss me gently.
How does that go?
Turtling. Oh God, that makes the fat even more pronounced. It's like pushing all the fat up into my face.
You're cute, babe.
Thank you. All right. I know you are. Okay, here we'll do 2 more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up because I'm rambling. He's pontificating, and we're both talking too much. Are you a specific denomination? What was your childhood religious experiences like?
Non-denominational. So charismatic.
And what was your religious experience growing up?
And then now I lean more on Jewish Messianic, but still non-denominational. Obviously, I guess. I don't know how that works, but because it's kind of a denomination, but not really at all. It's just the whole Bible. My religious experience growing up was my mom took us to church often, on and off. My mom taught me about the scriptures. We'd read scripture. She taught me about Satan and God and whatever. And I remember one time when we were reading the Bible together, I was like 7. Then I started feeling bad for Satan. I was like, Mom, I kind of feel bad for Satan, because nobody likes him.
That's a total kid thing to say.
That's cute, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it has taught me one thing, that every now and then, even Satan needs to be forgiven. Because it's all about forgiveness, actually. That's the whole point
Of the Bible.
If we harbor bitterness, come on. Now, there is a righteous anger, but there's also a bitter anger, so sometimes it's, not to get too much into philosophy here, but sometimes I have to forgive Satan too. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those things, it's a yin-yang. Not to harbor bitterness toward anything, you know what I mean? But should we feel empathetic towards Satan? That's the question.
All right, for me, denomination.
You're like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
I don't know, and then I started feeling more of the Spirit. Could put it in a nutshell. I felt the Spirit for my first time, really like an outpouring of the Spirit when I was like 14 or 15 years old, and that's when I felt the anointing, and I knew that there was a whole other dimension of experiencing God's presence and living for Him than just a bland brick and mortar religious kind of cult thing going on. That there's a whole nother, storm and rainbow and light and stuff and dynamics of the relationship factor there. Anyways, that's my experience.
For me, as far as denomination, I was raised Presbyterian. And if there's anybody if you're familiar with Presbyterian faith, they are very conservative, very staunch. You go to church, you do not ask questions, you listen. If you don't understand it, that's pretty much too bad. You have to go home and ask your parents. I had a great aunt who we would go to church with, and she would sit beside you, and if you even moved, she would squeeze your leg, or she'd give you a stern look. And that turned me off of church completely when I was probably around 7, 8. I hated going from a very young age, from as far as I can remember, young as I can remember, to probably about 7 or 8. I went to Sunday school and church regularly. Even if we didn't go to church that Sunday, I would go to Sunday school.
You're excused.
My mom, thank you. My mom taught Sunday school, and then when I was, then after a little while, we got back into going to church after my parents divorced. We got back into going to church, and then I started teaching Sunday school with my mom. That was a very nice experience. We taught, I think, 3 or 4 year olds, and that was like cute.
That's neat.
Yeah, there was only like 5 or 6 kids. It wasn't.
You're just laying a foundation at that time.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, that's
it was
neat.
very cute. We had our little Bible lesson, and then like a little craft, and then they had playtime. And then I kind of felt I would watch a pastor named Charles Stanley with my grandma. He was the first person I was like, it really drew me in to start reading the Bible, to understanding the Bible. My mom always read the Bible to me anyhow. I had a children's Bible. But when I watched that with my grandma back then, like in the early 90s, it really drew me in to want to seek a stronger relationship with God. Then I kind of fell away from God in my 20s and then came back in my 30s. I'm really not, I wouldn't say I'm any denomination. I kind of just refer to myself as spiritual instead of any kind of denomination. That's how I classify myself. And that's my experience as a child, my childhood experience.
That's neat. I like the teaching little preschoolers.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
was a good experience.
What was the next question here? How about, what do we do, one more? Or
yeah,
what?
we're going to do one more.
One more question, and that is, we talked about saving for a car. Have you decided what kind of car and what color? Who answers this one off the bat?
Well, I'll just say Gene is very particular about the kind of car he wants. He is the one that's going to be doing the driving immediately, because I have no plans of getting a driver's license. I have no desire to drive. I'm scared to death of driving. So, and he wants a specific kind of car.
Corvette, Lexus, Rolls Royce would be nice, but I'd like to buy within our buying range.
He's joking.
A Hummer.
He's joking. So since he's going to be doing the driving, then I think he should be able to pick what kind of car he wants to drive, right? That's only fair.
Well, sure. The main thing is just reliability. And statistics show that Hondas and Toyotas are excellent products. So, Acuras are made by Honda, Lexus is made by Toyota. So all of those cars are excellent vehicles. Would not mind, we're looking more, I'd like to get a SUV Toyota. So, like a 4Runner or a Land Cruiser would be nice. Color doesn't really matter, because when you're being picky and you live in a small little town and you only have just a few cars to really kind of choose from, color is not really a big deal.
I prefer a black car I've always liked the black car.
Black's pretty sleek. It's clean
But,
looking.
you know, it's whatever. I just wouldn't want, like, bright color, like a bright green or bright pink.
See, Honda, Toyota, they don't make... Their colors are
Flashy.
pretty, you know,
Mainstream.
earthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really can't fail with their...
And we've almost got there. We've almost saved up enough for a car. Almost. We're just, like, teetering on the edge. We had the huge vet bill come in, so that wiped a little bit of our golden egg. We're waiting for Moo to lay the golden egg from our huge vet bill.
Yeah, it's all about alchemy. See, if you feed the animal, and in his case it's a cat, so his body digests things with a certain type of chemistry. So we're really looking into that, and so it can happen.
Yeah, we're waiting for that golden egg.
I believe we came real close the other day because his shit was kind of goldish colored. So at least we got the color down. Now it just needs to alchemize to a...
Stop it.
All right.
Anyhow, we had the big vet bill with, and I'm so blessed that he's fine. He has not been sick since we've had him back from the vet. The $610 to tell us that there was nothing wrong with him. But I'm glad that there is nothing wrong with him, and blessed that we were able to find out that there was nothing wrong with him, because he had me very, very worried.
Yeah.
So he was just not acting like
He
himself
was
at all.
puking and not eating and not
Very
drinking
lethargic,
water.
and he would even growl when I went to touch him, to pet him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not,
Oh, weird.
yeah, that has never happened. So, but anyhow, yes, we're very close to buying a car. We got set back a little bit with some bills, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there soon.
Mm-hmm.
But, so there you go. There's our questions. While we did our little Subway mukbang, I ate most of my salad. After I get off camera, I'll finish my salad. And that's dinner. I don't suspect eating anything else today because it's now 4 o'clock. You probably won't see this till the next day early in the morning, so you're going to be like 4 o'clock. But it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. And we're losing light as we speak because it's going into winter. And it gets dark at like 5 o'clock now.
Yes, yeah, it's a little early.
So, all right, guys, we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us and being here. Got anything to say on the outro?
No, that's it. Wrapping it up.
Stay tuned for the bloopers and the outro after this video.
Thanks for
And
watching.
we'll see you guys next time.
Stay blessed.
You're so cute and beautiful, you know that?
Oh, babe. What do you want,
She
babe?
is cute and beautiful. You're so cute and sexy and beautiful.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I love you, babe. I love you too.
I love you more.
I love you more than I love you most.
I was supposed to say I love you more than most.
I love you more than most.
I love you more than you're more than you most.
I love you to infinity and beyond.